Afternoon, it's John back again. I'm the motorcycles, music, and money guy, and I have just a little chat with us this morning. Excuse me, my nose itches a little bit. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about an investment that I don't really talk about that often so far, but I'm going to start sharing some more about it. I do some financial education. I do have a few videos posted about that. I do some live workshops here in San Diego, California, and also via Zoom from time to time. But I want to talk to you about a non-traditional asset, at least non-traditional for some of us, but it's actually one of the oldest investment vehicles out there. And I'm talking about precious metals. This is a 10-ounce silver bar. We'll talk about that in just a minute. I don't have any of the gold that I have. I don't have a whole lot of gold. I do have a Krugerrand. I don't have that with me, obviously. I'm not going to carry that around. It's pretty valuable, a little over $2,000 right now, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But why should we talk about precious metals? Well, there are a number of reasons. This is kind of the top three reasons I think. The first off is they are a real physical asset, right? They're not paper money that's not backed by anything other than its government. When your government is doing well, like our government in the US is doing pretty well, we're a world power. But other countries, they're having inflation in the hundreds of percentages, if not thousand percentages. And we saw that happen in Germany between the world wars. You had to bring a bucket of money or a wheelbarrow of money to buy your groceries. Usually precious metals are a guarantee against that kind of inflation. The other thing is it's diversification, right? This is not a company stock that the company may do well, they may not do so well. It's not a bond that loses money when interest rates go up, as we've seen these last couple years. It's a separate asset class. And for some of us, it's just plain cool, right? I mean, I own some stocks, I own mutual funds, I own some investment contract vehicles. I can hold those pieces of paper, but I can't walk down to the company and say, hey, can I go put my hand on part of the machinery? I have stayed at hotels that I own part of the investment company that owns the hotels. And so I've kind of said, well, I'm in my room that I own. I still had to pay for it to stay there that night. So it's a little different, but it's kind of neat to have some metal. But one thing is we start looking at buying gold and silver and other metals like copper, platinum. There are a number of different metals you can invest in. Gold and silver being the best well known. Is there are different ways to do that investment. I have some of that with me today. You can do everything from collectible coins, and if you know what you're doing, that can be very positive type of return. But those are based on the demand for that coin among collectors. You're not just buying the metal, where when you invest in precious metal in something like this 10-ounce bar, you're pretty much saying, is the price of silver going to stay where it is, or is it going to go up? And one reason I like silver right now is something called the gold-silver ratio, or GSR. And what the gold-silver ratio is, it simply is a ratio of the gold price divided by the silver price. And normally this ranges anywhere from about 40 to over 100. Recently the ratio was over 100, meaning you could buy, it would take you 100 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Right now that ratio has been wavering between about 79 and just over 80, which is still on the higher end of the average over time. So right now, as a ratio in precious metals, it's good to own some of both. I mean, I also always wanted to own a Krugerrand, so I bought one of those. But right now, silver is actually trading at a discount compared to gold. So, when you can just track that ratio, either websites have it or you can simply do the math. I buy a lot of my precious metal through Money Metals Exchange. I have a referral code in the comments. If you mention my name, John Alford, when you buy from them, this is the supported by, I guess this is supported by me, right? Today's video is brought to you by me. Sponsor Minute. If you buy from Money Metals Exchange and you're a first time buyer and you mention my name, you get some free silver and I would get some free silver. So I'd appreciate it if you do that. But right at the top of their website is the spot price, what's called the spot price of gold and the spot price of silver. And you just divide the silver price into the gold price and you see what the ratio is. As that ratio gets smaller, that means your silver is more valuable compared to gold. And there's some people that literally trade their gold and silver based on that ratio. When silver is cheaper, and that ratio is up in the 80s, maybe the 90s, is approaching 100 again, you could buy more silver. When it drops down and it gets closer back down, because right now gold is near its all-time high, silver is only 1/2 of its all-time high. Also, for those of us that are smaller investors, something like this 10-ounce gold bar, or silver bar, excuse me, if it's a 10-ounce gold bar, I wouldn't be sitting here making a YouTube video. I would be probably retired. But this is roughly $310 right now if you buy just one. If you bought multiples of them, they'd go down a little bit in price, but they charge you, the price of silver is around $25, $26 an ounce right now. They charge you a small premium, right? That's one of the ways they make their money. But you can buy 1-ounce bars, you can buy 2-ounce bars, 5-ounce bars, 10-ounce bars. Above that, you start getting into both pretty heavy bars, but also they're pretty expensive. You can get 100-ounce bars, you can get 1 kilogram bars, or that's 2.2 pounds. So that's 35 ounces of silver. And you can buy it in other ways. So this is the 10-ounce bar. It's actually Money Metals Exchange's actual logo bar. That's their logo. So they mint this for themselves. You can buy other 10-ounce bars either from other companies. They even sell them. But that's a good way if you're what's called a stacker. A stacker is somebody that's just buying the precious metal and they want to get a large amount of it. Generally, it's just a rule of thumb and a recommendation in the precious metals community that if you are starting out, you should try to get up to 40 ounces of silver. That gives you a pretty nice little diversification. Right now that'd be about $1,000, so it's reachable. You don't have to be a millionaire to have $1,000 in silver, but it gives you at least enough to, if all of a sudden the price of silver got back up toward its all-time high, 40 ounces would give you a nice return and the ability to possibly buy something else with it. And so if you wanted to get 4 of these, that'd be a good way to get there. Or like in my case, I was short of that. I bought 2 of these to get my stack up to that. Another thing that Money Metals Exchange does, and I've already opened this, so this isn't a true opening video, but they have what they call a silver starter kit. And the reason I like this is it has some very nice pieces in it, but it also has different types. So if all I did was buy those 10-ounce bars, I'd kind of be stuck with one type of silver. And if I'm just buying it to have a number of precious metal coins or silver, that'd be great. But with this starter kit, you get a variety of different pieces. So you get probably the most in-demand silver piece right now, and it also is selling at a very high premium. It's selling, the difference between that this is 1 ounce of silver and the value of the coin itself is what is called a U.S. Silver Eagle. And it's actually made by the United States Mint. So you see there it says United States of America, and I'll show you that difference in just a second. And on the front of it is the famous Walking Liberty image, right? I may even just put in a picture of this coin. But this coin right now is selling, ever since COVID started, this coin has sold at a very large premium to the actual value of the silver in it. It's the most valuable per, that premium of any silver I own right now. So you get one of those, and that's a very famous and desirable coin. But what the comparison is, I'll hold them up side by side. So this is the American Silver Eagle. This is their Silver Eagle. It has the same Walking Liberty on the front, but you see on the back, hopefully you can see that well, it also is made by Money Metal Exchange. So it still has an eagle logo, but this is not US currency. This, even though it's worth way more than $1, is technically a US $1 coin. Just like a dollar bill in my wallet, but it is worth far more because of the silver in it. That's one of the reasons precious metals are a good diversification asset. This is a silver round. You can see that right on the bottom there. I don't know how well this camera focuses. It's just a standard USB camera we all bought millions of during COVID. But this truly you buy because of the silver in it. So it's still a silver round. They're almost exactly, they're a little different in size, a little different, in the quality of the engraving compared to the U.S. Mint coin and the Money Metal Exchange coin. But this is purely what we call a silver round. You also get a half ounce, well, you can't see it because of their logo, a half ounce silver round from Money Metals Exchange in the silver starter kit. And this is just a little sleeve you can keep them in to protect them. You also get a Canadian maple leaf. So this is actually, it's a Queen Elizabeth vintage coin. The year on this is 2020, so Queen Elizabeth is still on the coin, being that Canada is part of the, United Kingdom. But it has a maple leaf on it. That's why these are called Canadian maple leafs. This is actually currency as well. It's a $1 Canadian coin, so it's worth, probably about 95, 98 US cents, but it's worth much, much more because it's 1 ounce of silver. So you get both of those coins. So right now I'm at 3.5 ounces of silver. And then to round out the kit, you get 5 of these. These are 1/10 of an ounce each. So they're 1/10 of an ounce of silver. They're worth about $3 a piece, 3.25. The beauty of these is twofold. It's a good way to round out a silver stack. I mean, you don't want to stack, 40 ounces of silver in these. You'd have a ton of these dime-sized pieces. But say we get in a situation, some people invest in silver, and you have to make your own decision about this. They invest in silver as a stacker and as a prepper. I'm not going to get into the pros and cons of being a prepper. We should all keep that in mind. Some people go very far into it. Some people just have certain, things in mind before it gets really bad. But if you're going to barter, let me just show this as a comparison. Say I need to buy something small, and US dollars are either hard to get because of a banking crisis or they've completely lost their value. And I want to get, say, something that costs $30 or $50. I've already told you this is worth about $300. I don't have the way to melt this down. I don't want to take a hacksaw to this and have silver dust now that's worth something but is now dust. But what if I need to trade with a friend, but I don't have anything he needs? He has all the prepping supplies that he needs. He doesn't need gasoline. He doesn't need a service that I can provide. But I need to somehow get him $10, $20, $30. Well, in a prepping collapse situation, these are one good option. Another good option is what's called junk silver. I don't have any out in front of me right now, but I'll describe it to you, and maybe I'll do a whole video on that in a little bit. But junk silver, and I'll wrap up with this. Junk silver is US coins, primarily from 1964 and earlier, dimes, quarters, half dollars, and even silver dollars. That's why they're called that. And the Kennedy half dollars until 1968. And I have another video to make on that as well, about Kennedy half dollars and harvesting rolls of half dollars. But the junk silver is recognized as US currency, but many of us know that from 64 and earlier, it was 90% silver. So you can do a quick formula based on the face amount of the silver, of the coin, to know how much silver value is in there. And it's a very good way. It's a lot of people collect it. I have a number of those coins. And also that's another way, almost like these 1/10 ounce silver pieces, that people can barter and exchange if they need to. So just a quick overview about precious metals. There's tons of other videos out there. Money Metals Exchange and other websites have good educational material. Thank you for watching. John, the Motorcycles, Music, and Money Guy, and have a great day.